Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July.
And President Biden just shocked all, really shook things up in his latest speech about the state of the economy, the CPI data reading that came out, and we're going to hear him discuss the reconciliation bill, which he plans to sign into law when he comes back from his vacation, and we're hearing about right after that executive actions for more stimulus provisions. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update, and stimulus package update. Now, first off, take a look at the headlines, you guys. Biden says inflation may be easing, but people are still hurting. And I think we can all agree with that. We're hearing that inflation is slowing, but people still need help. And take a look, though, at what he's saying here in this video. Zero. That is right. He's saying zero inflation, and that really shook things up because we've heard it said you don't need a thermometer to know it's hot outside. You don't need to have an inflation report to know that prices are increasing, but he's saying inflation hit zero. Now, take a look at this, you guys. Inflation drops to zero in July due to falling gas prices. However, when you look at the consumer price index, the CPI data, it actually shows 8.5. So how can that be? Well, take a look at this, you guys, and let me know your thoughts. Republicans are outraged at Joe Biden for accurately describing the economy. Now, that's one opinion, but the White House is getting blasted for claiming zero inflation after the latest CPI report, lying to everyone, they're saying. Now, I'm going to share with you the video footage so you can see it for yourself and let me know your thoughts, but take a look at this, you guys. Zero inflation? Well, not quite. This article says, though Fox Business reported on the latest consumer price index number, which rose to 8.5% in July from just a year ago, below the 9.1% year-over-year surge recorded in June, the rate was less than the CPI number in June and 0.2% lower than the 8.7% CPI rate recorded in May. That means inflation, just to clarify, it has slowed in July for the first time in months. As the outlets have reported, though, it's only 0.2%. less than the highest CPI data reading of 8.7% in 40 years. Essentially, inflation remains almost as bad as it's been all summer. Inflation is still raging, and it's not zero. Perhaps Biden, to clarify, didn't mean inflation is zero, but it has a 0% increase in inflation. And conservatives on Twitter were quick to point this out. Take a look, you guys. Biden says that there is 0% inflation. Well, CPI was just 8.5% for July. So inflation is still bad. Prices are still high. It's just there has not been an increase in inflation. Take a look at this, you guys, and you can see the CPI data reading 8.5% in July. So I don't think anybody is buying that there is 0% inflation. But him saying that, and I'm going to share with you the video footage. Let me know your thoughts. President Biden claims U.S. had 0% inflation in July. He gets trolled by Republicans, and Karine Jean-Pierre roasted Orwellian tweet touting 0% inflation. So you guys, I'm going to share with you the latest. Now, of course, all of this is going to be impacting what's going to be happening with legislation, stimulus provisions, executive actions, because if inflation is super high and people need assistance, they're going to send out more provisions, but they have to do it in a way that's not going to add to debt and inflation. Now, on the other hand, if inflation subsides and comes down, but prices still remain high and people are still having trouble with certain items and things, there still could be inflation stimulus checks. There could be gas stimulus checks that we heard proposed before the inflation issue began to get out of control. So it could go either way, and we're hearing that there are a lot of proposals and calls for assistance. We're hearing about all these provisions coming back right after the passing of the reconciliation bill, which they're going to hear them discuss. President Joe Biden's going to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act. After that, we're hearing whatever is not included for direct assistance or stimulus payments to people. We've heard executive actions are going to be on the way. So all of this is tied together, and we're going to be seeing what happens with the state of the economy, the pandemic, inflation, supply chain issues. And I'm going to keep you up to date, but this is the latest coming out from the president right before he just left, we heard, to go on vacation. And when he returns, we're hearing he's going to hit the ground running. Likely the House will have passed that reconciliation bill and he will be signing it into law. All of this is going to be happening here very soon. But you guys, let's dive into the latest, get you caught up. And also wanted to mention, check the website this morning. There's well over 6,000 people that want access to all the stimulus checks in the nation, states, cities, counties. A lot of people think there's only the federal checks, or for state checks, you have to have done your taxes to access them. That is not the case. That is why so many people are missing out. In many cases, there's additional provisions, money set aside for people that are eligible all the time that are missing out because in many cases you have to apply. And I want to make sure that nobody here misses out because we're hearing about people that are supposed to get this money. It's only available for a limited amount of time. They don't apply. They don't know that they're eligible. The time frame, the window that it's available passes and they miss out and the money goes back to the federal government. I don't want anybody on my channel to miss out. So you guys, if you have not already, go to my website, www.reliefroadmap.com, add your email. Once you add it, you're going to be added to the wait list. I'm assembling the entire comprehensive stimulus checklist right now and hopefully going to have it ready for you before August 22nd. That's the deadline I set for myself to have everything ready to send it out so you can have access to everything. And I have had some super late nights. I've had a couple of nights where I've only slept like 2 or 3 hours, working on it all night, went to bed for just a couple hours, woke up, went back to it because I want to get this out for you guys. Hired some assistants to help me get this going. And it is quite the undertaking. Didn't realize what a can of worms I was opening by bringing this project on, but you guys, we are going to get it done for you. So keep an eye out for that, you guys. And if you appreciate that and you appreciate the updates here on the channel, running the YouTube channel while assembling this stimulus check package thing for you, the stimulus check update list for you, do me a quick favor, smash that like button for me. It helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions that you have for me this week, and learn about growing wealth, personal finance, more videos coming about how to start businesses, real estate, stocks, cryptos, how to deal with a recession, inflation, everything going on, a potential housing market crash. I hope that channel is a blessing to you as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the video footage so you can hear it for yourself directly from President Joe Biden on the latest state of our economy and potentially more reconciliation stimulus coming here and executive actions very soon.
Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%. Here's what that means. While the price of some things went up last month, the price of other things went down by the same amount. The result, 0 inflation last month, but people were still hurting, but 0 inflation last month. Economists look at a measure of inflation that ignores food and energy prices, and they call it core inflation. That's about the lowest amount in several months. When you couple that with last week's booming jobs report of 528,000 jobs created last month and 3.5% unemployment, it underscores the kind of economy we've been building. We're seeing a stronger labor market where jobs are booming and Americans are working, and we're seeing some signs that inflation may be beginning to moderate. That's what happens when you build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. The wealthy do very well and everyone has a chance. It gives everyone a chance to make progress. Now I want to be clear. With the global challenges we face, from the war in Europe to disruption of supply chains and pandemic shutdowns in Asia, we could face additional headwinds in the months ahead. Our work is far from over, but 2 things should be clear. First, the economic plan is working, and second is building an economy that will reward work. Wages are up this month, provide opportunity, help the middle class, and still have work to do, but we're on track. The second point I want to make is we need to pass the Inflation Reduction Act right away. That's the most consequential thing that Congress can do to keep our progress on inflation from getting better, from getting worse, keep it moving in the right direction. And it will bring down the cost of prescription drugs, health insurance premiums, and energy costs. It's going to make big corporations just pay their fair share, nothing more than their fair share. It's going to reduce the deficit without raising a penny in taxes on people making under $400,000 a year. But it's far from done in our effort to bring inflation down, but we're moving in the right direction. So some good economic news today and some work ahead.
There you have it, you guys. That was President Joe Biden saying that there is 0 inflation. Now, let me know your thoughts. Do you think he should have clarified and said 0 increase in inflation? Because inflation still exists. It's at a 40-year high. Also, we heard him talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, which we're hearing a lot of people say is actually the Inflation Seduction Act. It's going to cause even more inflation and increase taxes on those making under $400,000 a year or less. Unlike what we just heard him say, and we've heard a lot of Democrats vocalize. Now, which one do you think is going to be accurate? Let me know your thoughts. But we've heard that less than 12% of the American people right now believe that inflation is actually going to decrease. due to this bill. So there's a lot of skeptics about passing this legislation. Now we will see, because like I mentioned to you, it looks like this is going to go through. Passed in the Senate, going on to the House to be passed this Friday, and then when the president returns from his vacation, he's planning to sign it into law. So looks like we are going to find out what's going to happen with this bill. And you guys, whatever unfolds, I'll keep you up to date every step of the way. But that is the latest. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for me. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, it's totally free. Turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, it's going to be releasing more content on there to help you out with the economy, growing wealth, personal finances. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget, add your email to www.reliefroadmap.com to get added to the wait list to get access to all stimulus checks across the nation, the comprehensive list for states, cities, counties, everything available so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless.